keep our chit in Sadguru Sahib Ji's charan.
Puran bhai na kaam mohya maya.
Sadguru Sahib Ji saying, Kamnama. Here, Kam means Kamnama. Puran Payana Kam. Mohya Maya. That our desires are never fulfilled. It doesn't matter how much we get, we will never be content. Mohya Maya. Maya has attached us to itself so much that we constantly want more. Rajani onda. Doesn't matter what you get. If you get whatever you're desiring now, then another thing comes and another thing comes. The only thing that will give you contentment and peace and fulfillment is Sadhguru Sahib Ji's name.
Kya vichara jant ja aap pulaya.
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying, what can this vichara do? What can this jeev who is Vishirya from Vaheguru, what can they do? Ja aap pulaya. There's no point sitting and crying about it, saying, Sadhguru Sahib Ji, I don't remember you, this has happened and that's happened. Ja aap pulaya. Ji aap us Prabhu Paramatma nu pula ditta. Because Sadhguru Sahib Ji has given us everything we need to be able to remember Vaheguru. Rasana ditti. Ji Sadhguru Sahib Ji kende Rasana nal naam japo. Remember Vaheguru with your tongue. Say Vaheguru's name. We've all got a tongue. If Sadhguru Sahib Ji said, Chit de vich Vaheguru nu yaad karo, we've got a chitavani. They've given us that ability. So if Je aap pula ditta Vaheguru nu, then who are we supposed to blame? Who can you blame? Who can you put the blame on?
Salok basant swarg lok hai jit te prithvi nav khandan hai.
Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying,
Sya chitna avas nao.
Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying in the Kotak, in this play of the world, anekai tamashe ne, chitna avas now. But those people don't remember Akal Purkh Vaheguru. And even Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji says that they came to this world to see this tamasha. That they came to the world to see this tamasha. They describe it as a tamasha. And here Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying, Kotak, tamasya. That within this world, there's loads of different tamashe. But without remembering Vaheguru, those that forget Vaheguru.
Nanak kodi narka barabare ujjad soi thao.
Those that forget Akal Purkh Vaheguru's name, Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying that they're like kodis, they've got a rogue on them. And it's the same as living in Nark. Forgetting Vaheguru, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji is saying it's the same as living in the hells. Even if you might be in heaven, in a heavenly place, you might be in beautiful houses, in beautiful cars, but if you forget Vaheguru Sahib Ji is saying it's the same as being in Nark, being in the hells. That place is the same as the hells where Akal Purkh Vaheguru is not remembered.
Paudi Mahabhayan Udyan Nagar Kar Manneya.
Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying that this whole world, which is actually just ujad, is just emptiness. So, like if you have like a forest, a wilderness, and you say that's wilderness because no one lives there, there's no humans there. Because that's how selfish humans are. Sadi ego, sada hankar, itto tak vad gaya as a race, as a form of people, that where other jijant live, in the trees and in the wilderness, we say that that is the wilderness because we don't live there. But Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying, Mahapyan Udyan Nark Karmanya, that this whole world is actually like Ujjad. That Nagar is like Ujjad, where Akal Purakh Vaheguru is not remembered.
ਝੂਠ ਸਮਗਰੀ ਪੇਖ ਸੱਚ ਕਰ ਜਾਣਿਆ
Why? Because all of this is Juta, all false. And when we look at all of this, Samagri, everything that's within the world, and we see it to be true, but Sadhguru Sahib is saying it's actually false. But we, Sadhguru, people see it to be true, but actually it's completely false. Because Sadhguru Sahib Ji in Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji slok tell us, Jagarat jana sab jhoot hai, jaan leho re meet. Sadhguru Sahib Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji calls us their friends and says, listen, know this world to be completely false. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji here is saying everything we see is actually false, although we see it to be true.
ਕਾਮ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਹੈ ਦੀਵਾਨਿਆ
And then being engrossed in Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Sadhguru Sahib Ji says those people walk around like crazy people, like the Divane, like the Mastane.
ਸਿਰ ਲੱਗਾ ਜਮ ਡੰਡ ਤਾ ਪਛਤਾਨਿਆ
And then Sadhguru Sahib Ji says that ਜਦੋਂ Jamdoot aa karke, and they bring their stick and beat you in your head with that stick when the time to leave this world comes, fir jeev pashtonda. But Sadhguru Sahib Ji tells us in Gurbani that we have to remember Vaheguru now, because aave ant na bhajya jai. That when the end comes, you won't be able to remember Vaheguru. That's one arth bhi bhajan us vele nahi kita javega, na hi bhajya javega. You won't be able to run away from the Jamdoots either. You know, like if someone came up to you now with a stick and tried to hit you in the head, first reaction would be to move and get out of the way. But when we die, oh, the bhajya vi nahi jana, na bhajan kita javega. So jehda bhajan bandagi oh hon kiti jave. Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying that that when we're in Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, and then when our end comes and the Jamdoots come, then ਉਦੋਂ ਪਛਤਾਵਾ ਆਵੇਗਾ.
ਬਿਨ ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਫਿਰੈ ਸੈਤਾਨਿਆ
Without the true Guru, without the true Vaheguru, they will walk around like Satan, like devils.
ਸਲੋਕ ਰਾਜ ਕਪਟੰ ਰੂਪ ਕਪਟੰ ਧਨ ਕਪਟੰ ਕੁਲ ਗਰਬਤ ਹੈ.
Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying kapatang, the word kapatang, if something or someone, sometimes we describe someone as a kapati person, as a false person, they have kapat inside of them. Sadhguru Sahib Ji in Gurbani sometimes describe people as having kapat. That mukt, or they might say one thing, but inside there's something else, they're false. So here Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying, what things are false? Raj kapatang, having Raj, doing Raj. Now we might think sometimes when we hear these things, I sometimes reflect and I think, well, that's all right, it's not me, I don't do Raj on anything. But we sometimes think we have Raj on anything. So I might think I have Raj over my children, I'm there, you know, I tell them what to do, they listen. Yeah? Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying Raj Kaptang, that is false. Anything that we think that we rule over, that is false. Roop Kaptang, the way we look and we take so much maan and pride and honor over our roop, Sadhguru Sahib is saying that is also kapat, that's also false. Dan kapatang, all wealth is also false. Kul gardabah. So even our kul, our family, all of it, everything is false.
ਸੰਚੰਤ ਵਿਖਿਆ ਛਲੰਗ ਛਿਦਰੰ ਨਾਨਕ ਬਿਨ ਹਰ ਸੰਗ ਨਾ ਚਾਲਤੇ.
But Sadhguru Sahib Ji says, in our life, we spend all of our time sanchant. That means to collect. If your sant is collecting it, we spend our whole life collecting money, collecting respect and honor. That just like a Raja might have. That's what Raja do, don't they? Their whole life is worried about other people's opinion, and we spend our life trying to collect all of this. But Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying it's all bikya, it's all gandagi, it's all shalang, it's all constantly wavering. Binahar Sangana Chalate, without other than Akal Purakh Vaheguru Sang, other than Gurbani, Gai Padi, all of it is false. None of it goes with you.
Pe khandado ki pul tumma disan sohana.
Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying Pe khandado ki pul. By looking at this fruit, a tumma fruit, it looks like a melon, so it looks like it's going to be really sweet, but inside it's actually really, really kora. It's like, I've never seen one, I've never actually had one, but it's described in Katha Mahapurush, describe it as being something you wouldn't normally eat. They sometimes take a bit out and use it in some medicines, but it's really, really cordial. Sabji aam karke, you wouldn't make it. you don't really eat it. But looking at it, it looks like it's a sweet melon. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji said, "Pe khandro ki pol." By looking at it, ਭੁਲੇਖੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੰਦਾ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦਾ. Tumma disam sohna. It looks great. It looks like a melon. It looks like it's going to be sweet.
ਅੱਡ ਨਾ ਲਹਿਦੜੋ ਮੁੱਲ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਥ ਨਾ ਜੁਲਈ
But
ਮਾਇਆ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji says that you can't actually adana rehdro mul. That is actually not worth anything. No one will give you anything. It's not even worth a shell because you can't do anything with it. And it doesn't go with you. In the same way, Maya, it looks great. It gives us that paleka. We think it's going to give us sukh. And worldly thought, it will give us some peace, some sukh. But that sukh doesn't go with us, does it? It's not permanent. It doesn't go beyond this world. But it looks like it's great. And we then get entrapped by it. And we get more attachment with that Maya, like Sadhguru Sahib described earlier. But none of it goes with us.
ਪੌੜੀ ਚਲਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਾ ਚੱਲੈ ਸੋ ਕਿਉ ਸੰਜੀਐ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji said none of this Maya goes with us. So why spend your time collecting it and gathering it?
ਤਿਸ ਕਾ ਕਹੋ ਕਿਆ ਜਤਨ ਜਿਸ ਤੇ ਵੰਜੀਐ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying why spend that time doing that jatan if you're going to end up staying vanja, staying separated from it anyway.
ਹਰ ਬਿਸਰੈ ਕਿਉ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤਾਵੈ ਨਾ ਮਨ ਰੰਜੀਐ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying by forgetting Harya Parya Karan Wala Akal Purakh Vaheguru, the one that allows all of us to blossom, Sadhguru Sahib Ji and Triptave. Without Akal Purakh Vaheguru, you will never have your desires, your wishes completely quenched. Na manaranjiya, and your mind will also never be at peace.
ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਛੋੜ ਅਨ ਲਾਗੈ ਨਰਕ ਸਮੰਜੀਐ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying by forgetting Akal Purakh Vaheguru, Prabhu Paramatma, Prabhu showed man lage nark samanjiya, that you end up going to nark.
ਹੋ ਕਿਰਪਾਲ ਦਇਆਲ ਨਾਨਕ ਭਉ ਭੰਜੀਐ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji is teaching us to do a beinti. Ho Kripal Dayal. Hey Akal Purakh Vaheguru, who is the ocean of compassion. Kirpa karke, do mercy, blessings upon us. Pao Panjiya, that with love we can remember Akal Purakh Vaheguru.
ਸਲੋਕ ਨਚ ਰਾਜ ਸੁਖ ਮਿਸਟੰ ਨਚ ਭੋਗ ਰਸ ਮਿਸਟੰ ਨਚ ਮਿਸਟੰ ਸੁਖ ਮਾਇਆ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying all of these things again are false Raj. That all of these things are not sweet, they have no flavor in them. Raj. Raj Sukh Mistang, that none of it is mitta. Nach Pog Ras Mistang, that having enjoyment of loads of different ras of the world is actually bitter. None of that is actually sweet. Nach Mistang Sukh Maya. Any peace, any pleasure that we think we get from Maya, Sadhguru Sahib Ji says none of it, all of it is bitter, all of it is tasteless.
ਮਿਸਟੰ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਹਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਦਾਸ ਮਿਸਟੰ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਦਰਸਨੰ
But Sadhguru Sahib Ji says, what is sweet? What is mitta? Mistang Sadh Sang. The Sadh Sangat, what we are doing now, or than the Sangat of the Sadhus, that is filled with mityas, that is filled with sweetness. Har Nanak Das Mistang Prabh Darsanang. Or then the dases of Akal Purakh Vaheguru, being with them, that is true sweetness. Prabh Darsanang. And then doing the darshan of Prabhu Paramatma. And we get to do the darshan, Pratak darshan of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, who is Akal Purakh Vaheguru. That is truly sweet.
ਲੱਗੜਾ ਸੋ ਨੇਹੋ ਮਨ ਮਝਾਹੂ ਰਤਿਆ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying, fall in love with the Akal Purakh Vaheguru. Man karke, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਤਿਆ, completely be imbued with Akal Purakh Vaheguru.
ਵਿਦੜੋ ਸੱਚ ਥੋਕ ਨਾਨਕ ਮਿੱਠੜਾ ਸੋ ਧਣੀ
Forever remember Akal Purakh Vaheguru, who is the truth, who is the form of mityas, who will give us that ras, that pleasure.
ਪੌੜੀ ਹਾਰ ਬਿਨ ਕਛੂ ਨਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ ਭਗਤਨ ਕਉ ਮੀਠਾ
And then Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying, other than Akal Purakh Vaheguru, kashu na lag gayi, other than Akal Purakh Vaheguru, nothing seems sweet. Bhagatan ko meetha. That the Bhagats, the Sants, the Saints, the Sadhus, the Mahapurushs, the Brahmgyanis, the Gurmukhs, whatever word you want to use for them, ultimately what they are doesn't change with the label that we give them. Sometimes we spend hours arguing with each other and people saying, no, but that person's this, that. Whatever you call them doesn't affect them and it doesn't change what they are. But Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying that what they are is that they are imbued in the name of Harya Parya Kanmala Akal Purakh Vaheguru, and that is what is mitta, is sweet to them. Hence why they don't shad that. Just like, and people describe Mahapurush almost being like sometimes part of their birthi being a little bit like an innocent child because they're so innocent. And whatever they find mitta, whatever they find sweet, they stay attached to that. Just like a child, if you put sweets in front of them, they'll keep going and having the sweets. Even if they're full, they'll keep having them. In the same way, the Mahapurush, they don't get full from the ras, the mitta ras of Akal Purkh Vaheguru's bhakti.
ਆਨ ਸਵਾਦ ਸਭ ਫੀਕਿਆ ਕਰ ਨਿਰਨਉ
And
ਡੀਠਾ
all other swad, all other tastes are fikki to them. Kar nirno dita. But people like me, you can say it to me, but I won't believe it. Why? Because I've not experienced it. But the Mahapurushes, the saints like Maharaji, kar nirno dita. They've experienced it. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਿਰਣੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਲਿਆ ਵਾ that other than Akal Purkh Vaheguru's name, other than Bhakti, everything is fikka. There's no other ras. The ras that you get from Bhakti, from Sadhguru Sahib's name, hence why they don't have enjoyment in anything else. Hence why they're always lean in Vaheguru. They talk, like we said at the start, their mind is always on Vaheguru. Their mukh is, even if mukto, they might do dunyavi galna because they have dunyavi people like us around them that ask them and speak to them. But their mind is forever imbued with Akal Purkh Vaheguru. And unhone nirne karke, they've practically tested it and then seen it and then done it.
ਅਗਿਆਨ ਭਰਮ ਦੁਖ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਗੁਰ ਭਾਏ ਡੀਠਾ
And then the param, the doubts of no knowledge and of dukh, of this world and the afterlife have been cut away. And then when they're sat with Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਚਾਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਮਨ ਬੇਧਿਆ ਜੋ ਰੰਗ ਮਜੀਠਾ
And then in the Charan Kamal of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, the lotus feet of that naam, of the name of the Bani of Akal Purkh Vaheguru is bidya, is vinya hoya in their mind. It's completely pierced through their mind. And Man bidya jo rang majitha. And it's like if you get rang and you chadai onto a kapda and it completely gets imbued in that. In that same way, their mind is completely imbued in the name of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਜੀਉ ਪ੍ਰਾਨ ਤਾਨ ਮਨ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਬਿਨਸੀ ਸਭ ਝੂਠਾ
That this Jio, this Jeev, our Pran, our body, our mind, all of it, other than Vaheguru, is false.
ਸਲੋਕ ਤਿਆਗਤ ਜਲੰਗ ਨਹ ਜੀਵ ਮੀਨੰ ਨਹ ਤਿਆਗ ਚਾਤਰਿਕ ਮੇਘ ਮੰਡਲ ਹੈ
Sadhguru Sahib is saying Tyak Tang. And here Sadhguru Sahib Ji, the bolli of the sloks is a little bit different. It's more like Dakhani bolli. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji actually, when they were chanting this the first time, just to give a bit of an explanation behind that, it was a pandit that came and asked Guruji about rites of passage for when someone passes away. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji chanted this Bani and then said, you do vichar of this. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji, Tyak Tang Jalang, that Tyaging the jal, the water, the ocean, neh jeev meenang. Meenang meaning fish. We hear the word fish a lot. Lots of Shabbads talk about a gurmukh being like a fish out of water if they separate from the name of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Charan tyagtang jalang neh jeev meenang. That the fish cannot live when it is separated from the water. Neh tyag chatrak megh mandal hai. And the rain bird, the chatrak, cannot live without the swanti boond of the morning raindrops.
ਬਾਣ ਬੇਧਾਂਚੁਕ ਰੰਕ ਨਾਦੰ ਅਲਬੰਦਨ ਕੁਸਮ ਬਾਸਨ ਹੈ
And in the same way, the deer is completely attached to the hunter's bell. And the hunter's bell, that sound seems so sweet to a deer that when they ring that bell, the deer comes running out from wherever they are. Not knowing that that sound that is so mittat to them is actually completely dangerous. So dangerous, it's going to cost them their life. In the same way, we get told again and again by Sadhguru Sahib Ji daily as we read Gurbani that this Maya is false, that it will give us dukh. But we still go running to it. Utte bhajda, man vi utte bhajda, sarir vi utte bhajda. But Sadhguru Sahib Ji is saying that the deer, the sound, the naad, Kurank naadang, the naad means sound, the sound of the bell of the hunter seems so sweet to them, and they are then opleke and then the bee, the flower is so sweet to the bee, hence why they then go there and they're attracted. And there are certain flowers that the bee is attracted to, but the plant then actually shuts its mouth on the bee and kills it, doesn't it? And again, that paleka of what looks to be sweet is then cost them their life.
ਚਾਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਰਚੰਤ ਸੰਤਹ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਨ ਨ ਰੁਚਤੇ
But then Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying the sants, where is their dhyan? Their dhyan is forever on the charan of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Anana ruchate. Ruchate means to engross. They don't engross in anything other than the charan of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਮੋਖ ਦੇਖਾਉ ਪਲਕ ਛੱਡ ਆਣ ਨ ਡੇਊ ਚਿਤ
And then even palak matar, from their mouth and from their chit, they do not forget Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਜੀਵਨ ਸੰਗਮ ਤਿਸ ਧਣੀ ਹਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੰਤਾਂ ਮਿਤ
That Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying that the jivan of those sants is one that gives us support, and Har Nanak Santa Mit, and they are then the true friends. Because other than sants, no one else that we have Sakh Sambandh with, any other human, goes with us from here. But that Mitratai with Mahapurush travels beyond this plane, beyond this earth. And that's why anyone that's done Sangat of Mahapurush, like everyone here, is very, very blessed, because they then show us the way to peace and oneness with Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਪੌੜੀ ਜੋ ਮਛਲੀ ਬਿਨ ਪਾਣੀ ਆ ਕਿਉ ਜੀਵਨ ਪਾਵੈ
So just like the fish without water, how can it live?
ਬੂੰਦ ਵਿਹੂ ਨਾ ਚਾਤ੍ਰਿਕੋ ਕਿਉ ਕਰ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤਾਵੈ
How can the rainbird, without that raindrop in the mornings, it sits there. If you ever look at pictures or videos of rainbirds, they literally sit on the tree branches with their head upwards, with their mouth open, waiting for that raindrop to drop in. And if they don't get it, ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਮਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ.
ਨਾਦ ਕੁਰੰਕਹ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਸਨਮੁਖ ਉਠ ਧਾਵੈ
And when the deer hears that bell of the hunter, sanmukh ut dhave, they go running towards it. They go with their face first towards that bell, but it ends up being danger for them.
ਭਵਰ ਲੋਭੀ ਕੋ ਸੰਭਾਸ ਕਾਮਿਲ ਆਪ ਬੰਧਾਵੈ
And then the bumblebee actually sacrifices itself as it goes towards that flower, thinking it's going to give them ras, but it then closes on them and kills them.
ਤਿਉ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾ ਹਰ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਹੈ ਦੇਖ ਦਰਸ ਅਗਾਵੈ
And why does Sadhguru Sahib Ji use such examples? Because you know our preeti, dunyavi preeti of humans is completely false. No matter how much we think we love someone, even if we think it's our parents, our children, it's still false. Why? Because it's not there always 100%. Even if it is during this world, it isn't afterwards. But those examples of animals, because animals don't have the chittavani, the thought processing part of the brain that we have to make those conscious decisions. So that sound of a deer, it won't learn, even if its best friend deer hears that sound and runs out and gets hit by the hunter and it sees it from a distance, it won't learn a lesson from that. It doesn't have that ability like we do. So their preeti for that sound is sachi, because their love for that is so much that nothing can change their love. Our love waves and changes. Someone doesn't speak to us properly one day and it's like, I'm not talking to that person again, because it's false. But Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying that's why these examples are given, not examples of humans. But then Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying, Sant janahar preet hai, dekh dars akab hai. That the sants have such preeti with Akal Purkh Vaheguru, like those examples given. That is true preeti. And dekh dars agave hai. By doing the darshan of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, tript ho jande, agave, they're completely satisfied. And sometimes when we think of darshan, sometimes we might think that it's something really supernatural that happens. But they realize that Gurbani is darshan. They realize that Satsangat is darshan. That actually even sitting alone and remembering Vaheguru is darshan. Naam hamari sangat at pyari, Satguru Sahib Ji says. Of all company that you can keep, Satguru Sahib Ji says, Naam hamari sangat at pyari. The company of Naam is at pyari, sab to pyari hai. Because those who realize that then forever remember Akal Purkh Vaheguru, and those sants are then forever in love with Akal Purkh Vaheguru and doing the darshan of tript ho jande han.
ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਚਿਤਵੰਤ ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲੰ ਸਾਸ ਸਾਸ ਆਰਾਧਨ ਹੈ
By remembering the charan of Akal Purkh Vaheguru with every single breath, saas, with every breath they arad Vaheguru. Arad means to completely concentrate on with full concentration. Aradhana karde han.
ਨਹਿ ਬਿਸਰੰਤ ਨਾਮ ਅਚੁੱਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਸ ਪੂਰਨ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ
And then they
ਹੈ
never forget Akal Purkh Vaheguru, and all asa, all desires are then fulfilled by Paramesware Jagat de Iswar Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਸੀਤੜਾ ਮਨ ਮੰਝਾਹੇ ਪਲਕ ਨ ਥੀਵੈ ਬਾਹਰਾ
And then just like a kapda is sewn So, you know, like you put stitching on a kapra and that puts it together. And that stitching goes straight through the kapra. In the same way, their mind is stitched with the name of Akal Purkh Waheguru. And other than that, they have nothing. There's nothing other than Akal Purkh Waheguru, outside of Akal Purkh Waheguru, within their mind.
ਨਾਨਕ ਆਸੜੀ ਨਿਭਾਹੇ ਸਦਾ ਪਖੰਦੋ ਸਚ ਧਣੀ
And then all of their asama are then fulfilled. Sada Pikhundo Sach Tani. That they forever see the true Tani, the true Akal Purkh Waheguru, the true support. Why is Satguru Sahib Ji in this Bani that they've told us as Maryada to reflect upon when someone passes away, constantly talking about what seems like similar themes? Because that is the reality. That other than Waheguru's name, nothing else goes with us. And this Bani, hence why it's reflected upon when people pass away. Because the person that has gone has gone. And obviously with a Mahapurush, like I keep saying, the whole kid is completely different. But even if it's someone else, once they're gone, they've gone. But the lessons that we can learn, Guruji's forever giving. So they're teaching us. Maharaji was free of all of these Valashal, all of this kapat, all of this Maya, whilst they lived in it, in their physical body. But people like myself are not. That's why Guru Sahib has then blessed us with the ability to reflect on this Bani, to realize that other than Waheguru's name, everything is false, everything is fikka, nothing else goes with us.
ਪੌੜੀ ਆਸਾਵੰਤੀ ਆਸ ਗੁਸਾਈ ਪੂਰੀ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying that all asama, all wishes, all wants are fulfilled by Akal Purkh Waheguru.
ਮਿਲ ਗੋਪਾਲ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਨ ਕਬਹੂ ਝੂਰੀ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying by meeting with Akal Purkh Waheguru, the creator of this srishti, the look afterer of this srishti, Nakabahu Turiya, we never have to then be in a state of sorrow. We never have to be in a state of mourning, of sorrow, Satguru Sahib Ji saying, if we meet with Akal Purkh Waheguru.
ਦੇਹੋ ਦਰਸ ਮਨ ਚਾਓ ਲਹ ਜਾਹੇ ਵਿਸੂਰੀਆ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying, looking at the darshan, give us the darshan. We have cha within our mind to have the darshan of Akal Purkh Waheguru. Leh jahi visuriya. So everything else will then be forgotten and we will just remember Akal Purkh Waheguru. Sadhguru Sahib is saying we should have that cha. We should say to Sadhguru Sahib Ji, speak to Sadhguru Sahib Ji and say, I've got so much cha for your darshan. Give me your darshan and I'll forget everything else. That's how much bliss I will get from that. And you know, sometimes we might think, well, how can I do that? I don't know how to do it. Ardas properly, I don't know how to. We have loads of questions that our mind puts in place as barriers. But in the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, there's one thing that's like the trump card and it overtakes everything, and that's love. Anything you do with love in the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, uparvarnaya. So if you don't know how to do a full ardas, you don't know how to, just stand in front of Guruji and just talk to them. Even if you don't want to say the words, stand there and think them. Sadhguru Sahib Ji's kat ke antar ki janat. They know everyone's inner thoughts. So do it with true love. Have that cha for Akal Purkh Waheguru's darshan, and then everything else will be forgotten.
ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਸਦਾ ਹਜੂਰੀਆ ਹੋਏ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਸਰੀਰ ਚਰਨਾ ਧੂਰੀਆ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying that your sareer will become pavitr by the turi of the charan of Sadhguru Sahib Ji and their saints.
ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਸਦਾ ਹਜੂਰੀਆ
Akal Purkh Waheguru Paravar Turet Brahm ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਪਿਤਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਸਦਾ ਹਜੂਰੀਆ, they are forever with us, they are forever ਸਦਾ ਅੰਗ ਸੰਗਿਆ ਭੰਗੰ ਵਿਭੂਤੇ
ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਰਸਨਾ ਉਚਰਾਂਤ ਨਾਮੰ ਸ਼ਰਵਣੰ ਸੁਨੰਤ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਹੈ
Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying that the rasana of the Gurmukh, the jeeb is forever remembering the name of Akal Purkh Waheguru. Their ears are forever hearing the words of Akal Purkh Waheguru. Sabad Amrit hai, because the Sabad of Sadhguru Sahib Ji is Amrit, Amrit Rupa. Amrit that takes us beyond death, that Amrit that is sweeter than anything that can be described in this world. And they are constantly japping and constantly hearing it. And even when there's no sound to be heard, they still hear the sound of Akal Purkh Waheguru. Why? Because they have become one with Akal Purkh Waheguru. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji saying that those saints, those Mahapurush, are forever singing the praises and hearing the praises of Akal Purkh Waheguru's Shabad.
ਨਾਨਕ ਤਿਨ ਸਾਧ ਬਲਿਹਾਰੰ ਜਿਨਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮਣ ਹੈ
Sadhguru Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, this is the Vidya, Sadhguru Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, who is described in Gurbani, which is Atal Sach, as Guru Arjan Pratak Har. The Pratak form of Akal Purkh Waheguru is saying that they are forever a sacrifice to those Gurmukhs, those Gursikhs, those Mahapurush who do Dhyan of Par Brahm Akal Purkh Waheguru. that Guruji themselves is saying, I am a sacrifice. God is saying they are a sacrifice to those who remember Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਹਬ ਕੂੜਾਵੇ ਕੰਮ ਇੱਕ ਸਸਾਈ ਬਾਹਰੇ
Sadhguru Sahib is saying all come, all things are false other than the name of Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਨਾਨਕ ਸਈ ਧਨ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਪਿਰਹੜੀ ਸੱਚ ਸਿਓ
Sadhguru Sahib is saying those people are tanta the joke, those people who are great, who have love with Akal Purkh Vaheguru.
ਪੌੜੀ ਸਾਧ ਬਲਿਹਾਰੀ ਤੇਨਾ ਜੇ ਸੁਣਤੇ ਹਰ ਕਥਾ
Sadhguru Sahib is saying that they are forever a sacrifice, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਲਹਾਰ ਜੰਨੇ ਹਨ, those who listen to Katha. And there's one which is Katha like this that people do Updesh, but then there's the Katha that Akal Purkh Vaheguru themselves sanat to that person, which is known as Akatha Katha. And Sadhguru Sahib is saying those that listen to this Katha and that Katha, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਲਹਾਰ ਜੰਨੇ ਆ
ਪੂਰੇ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਨਿਵਾਵ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮਥਾ
Sadhguru Sahib is saying that they are president to that Akal Purkh Vaheguru, Nivav Prabh Matha, those that have stayed and complete with Akal Purkh Vaheguru's matha is in their charan.
ਹਰ ਜਸ ਲਿਖ ਹੈ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਸੋਹ ਹੈ ਸੇ ਹਥਾ
Those that who have written the Vidyayi of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਬਲਹਾਰ ਜਨੇ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਧੰਤਾ ਜੋਗ ਹਨ.
ਚਾਰਨ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਚੱਲ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਪਥਾ
And Sadhguru Sahib is saying that those that use their feet, so those that use their hand to write the Vidyayi of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, ਉਹ ਧੰਤਾ ਦੇ ਜੋਗ ਹਨ. And those that use their feet to go to the ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨ ਵੀ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਨੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਹਨ.
ਸੰਤਾਂ ਸੰਗ ਉਧਾਰ ਸਗਲਾ ਦੁਖ ਲਥਾ
In the last bit that we're going to vichar on today, Sadhguru Sahib ji saying Santa Sang Udhar Sagala Dukh Latha. By coming to the sanctuary of the saints, by doing Sangat of the saints, that onada udhar ho janda. Because like Sadhguru Sahib ji says at the end of Japji Sahib, we read every day, Jinni Naam Tyaya Gaye Masakt Kaal Nanak Te Mukh Ujjale Keti Chutti Nar. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਜਪਿਆ, ਆਪ ਕਮਾਇਆ, ਆਪ ਮਸਕਤ ਕਾਲ ਨਾ ਕੀਤੀ, ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਅੰਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ. And there's no ant to that. There's no limit. It's not just the people that they've done sangat with in this life, but if they are of a Gristi life and they are a Mahapurush Brahmgyani, their kuls, 21 kuls, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਉਧਾਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ. So people that will never physically meet them, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਆਧਾਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ. ਇਤਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਵਾ ਸਾਧੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਕਰਨੀ. And Sadhguru Sahib ji is saying ਸੰਤਾ ਸੰਗ ਉਧਾਰ ਸਗਲਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਲਥਾ, all pains. And here on the dukh, underneath the kakka, there's also onkar, which means lok par lok da dukh, the pains of not just this world but of the afterlife. ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ by doing sangat of Mahapurush. And so we are all, everyone that has done Maharaji's darshan, done their sangat, ਸਾਰੇ ਧੰਤਾ ਜੋਗਾ. Sadhguru Sahib ji ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨੂੰ ਕਮਾ ਸਕੀਏ. The ras that Sadhguru Sahib ji's talked about here as being the only true ras, the ras of Sadhguru Sahib ji's Bani of Naam, Sadhguru Sahib ji, that pandara of that Naam, Sadhguru Sahib ji says again and again, it's a khut, it can never finish. Sadhguru Sahib ji, what do they tell us to do? Not worrying about it finishing, but they khav ho kharch haral mil pai, tot na aave vad do jai. Hence why Maharaj ji put everyone onto Japing Naam, on doing Simran, on doing Kirtan Divans. And that Pandara will never reduce. It never goes, it never runs low. So Sadhguru Sahib ji kirpa karan, vi sanu hor samratha bakshish karan, Maharaj ji kirpa karan, hor khan da, kharchan da, vadan da, Sadhguru Sahib ji kirpa karan, that we can kama their Sikhi and be able to join ourselves with Sadhguru Sahib ji and the Sangat of the saints. On doing Vichar Das would have made many mistakes. Sadhguru Sahib ji's Bani is agad bodh, it's beyond understanding. No one can understand Sadhguru Sahib ji's Bani, especially someone that's done no Kamai, doesn't know anything about it. But like I said yesterday, Sangha ne beinti kiti, so jinna vi jatan Sadhguru Sahib ji ne aap bakshish kiti hai. Sadhguru Sahib ji kirpa karan, vi aapa hirde vich vasa liye Gurbani nu. Only they know the true meanings, but whatever they are, whatever that Updesh is, Sadhguru Sahib ji kirpa karan, ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸੇ. ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਸ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣ ਜੋਗ ਬਖਸ਼ ਲੈਣਾ. ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਸ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੀ ਦਾਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਣ. ਦੇਹੋ ਸੱਜਣ ਅਸੀਸੜੀਆਂ, ਜੋ ਹੋਵੇ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਿਉ ਮੇਲੇ ਕੈ ਕਦੇ ਨ ਛੂਟੀਐ. ਖਿਨ ਖਿਨ ਭੁੱਲਨਹਾਰ ਬਖਸ਼ਨਹਾਰ ਬਖਸ਼ ਲੈ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਰਿ ਉਤਾਰ।
ਚਰਨ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਚੱਲ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਪਥਾ, ਸੰਤਾਂ ਸੰਗ ਉਧਾਰ ਸਗਲਾ ਦੁਖ ਲਥਾ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਸੋ ਆਪ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਸੰਤ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਸ੍ਰੀਮਾਨ ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਭਗਵਾਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਰਾੜਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬੇਗੋਵਾਲ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਵਿੱਚ, ਮਿੱਠੀ ਯਾਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਹੁਣੇ ਆਪ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੇ 8ਵੀਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕਰਕੇ 14ਵਾਂ ਜੋ ਸਲੋਕ ਹੈ ਜੈ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਕੀ ਵਾਰ ਦਾ, ਉਸ ਦੀ ਕਥਾ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸਾਰਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 1.25 ਘੰਟੇ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਸੋ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਭਾਈ ਪ੍ਰਭਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਭਰਨ। ਸੋ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸੰਤ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਪ੍ਰਚਲਿਤ ਸੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਜਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਸੰਤ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੰਪਰਦਾਵਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਏਕਤਾ ਕੀਤੀ। ਸੋ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੰਤ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਨਾ। ਸੋ ਜਿਤਨੇ ਵੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਹਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੰਤ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਅਤੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਇੰਨੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇਕਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਦੀਵਾਨ, ਸਾਰਾ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਤੋਂ, ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਤੋਂ, ਸਾਰੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦਾ ਆਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸਰਵਣ ਕਰੀਏ। ਸੋ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 8 ਵਜੇ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਪਰੰਤ ਸਹਿਜ ਪਾਠ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਮੇਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਿਰੰਤਰ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਅਤੇ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਦਿਹਾੜੀ ਸਹਿਜ ਪਾਠ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਸੋ ਜੋ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਤਿਮ ਦਰਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਤ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਸਰੀਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਜੋ ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਸਾਰੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਵੇਗੀ ਆਉਣ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਤੱਕ। ਸੋ ਇਤਨੀਆਂ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸਰਵਣ ਕਰੀਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੁਝਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜ਼ੋਰਾਵਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੁਝਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜ਼ੋਰਾਵਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੁਝਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜ਼ੋਰਾਵਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 Guru Guru Tohi Vaheguru, Tohi Tohi Vaheguru, Tohi Tohi Vaheguru, Tohi Tohi Vaheguru, Vaheguru 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 Tohi Tohi Vaheguru, Tohi Tohi Vaheguru, Tohi Tohi Vaheguru, Tohi Tohi Vaheguru, Tohi Vaheguru. ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਤਨ ਚਰਨ ਆਏ ਯਾ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਤਨ ਚਰਨ ਯਾ ਤੁਮ ਸਰਨਾਈ ਯਾ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਤਨ ਚਰਨ ਯਾ ਤਨ ਚਰਨ ਯਾ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਤਨ ਚਰਨ ਯਾ ਗੁਰ ਤਨ ਚਰਨ उतर गया मेरे मन का संसार, उतर गया मेरे मन का उतर गया मेरे मन का संसार, उतर गया मेरे मन का संसार, उतर गया मेरे मन का संसार। जब ते दर्शन पाया ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया ठाकुर तुम शरणाई। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਪਾਪਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਪਾਪਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਪਾਪਾ ਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਪਾਪਾ ਜੋੜੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੁਝਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਧੰਨ ਬਾਬਾ ਅਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਇਠੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਇਠੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਇਠੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਇਠੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ। प्यारे जोग च है सो तेरा, प्यारे जोग च है सो तेरा, प्यारे जोग च है सो तेरा, प्यारे जोग च है किच है सो तेरा प्यारे प्यारे जो किच है सो तेरा प्यारे जो किच है सो तेरा जो किच है सो तेरा प्यारे जो किच है सो तेरा एक है मेरी कोई चीज ना एक है मेरी कोई चीज ना एक है मेरी कोई चीज ना वाहिगुरु एक है मेरी कोई चीज ना मोहना बसारो जी मैं जान तेरा 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 जन तेरा मैं जान तेरा जन तेरा मैं जान तेरा मेरा सारो जी मैं जान तेरा मेरा बसारो जी मैं जान तेरा मोहना बसारो जी मैं जान तेरा मैं जान तेरा मैं बसारो जी मैं जान तेरा 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 तेरा मैं जान तेरा मैं जान तेरा मैं जान तेरा जन तेरा मैं जन तेरा तेरा मैं जन तेरा मैं जन तेरा मैं जन तेरा सारो जी